Right, in this video I'm going to show you how to make the file box. So if you've been over to my website, you can print the instructions off in centimetres or in inches. And this is a file box to house either your Memory Folios, size 8 Memory Folios, or also you can house your Foto Folios from my website. So both fit in there because they're the same size. So you're going to need 2 sheets of cardstock, and we're going to need to cut these down. Now I'm going to try and give you the measurements of both of us as I go, but construction wise everything is identical. Okay, so let's do this in centimetres. So we're going to need a piece of card that is 30.5 centimetres, which is 12 by 12 by 26.5 centimetres, which is 10.5 inches. So it's roughly about there. I've done both lots of measurements for you to give you a rough guide, and you're going to need to cut both pieces of cardstock the same size. So that goes down there. Okay, so we've got both our cardstocks the same. The next thing we're going to need to do is a bit of scoring. So I'm going to do centimetre scoring today, but you can do inches as well. Okay, the instructions are there for both, so you can print off the PDFs and keep. So I'm going to read out both as I do it. So first thing you're going to do is you need to score both identical, and you're going to score, and it says score both on the long side. So when we talk about long side, as you can see from here, this is the longest measurement of the card, and this is the shortest measurement of the card. I'll turn it around, it's still the same. That's the shortest measurement of the card, and that's the longest measurement. So when I talk about long side, I mean butting up the long side in your scoreboard. Okay, and you're going to score this at 5.5 centimetres, which is 2 1/4 inches, and you're going to score it at 26.5 centimetres, which is 10 3/4 inches. Okay, and then you're going to do a quarter turn, and you're going to score on the short side at 21 centimetres or 8 1/4 inches. So I'm going to do exactly the same again. So we'll start with the long side first. So 5.5 centimetres or 2 1/4 inches, and 26.5 centimetres or 10 3/4 inches. Quarter turn, so we're now scoring on the short side, and you're going to score at 21 centimetres or 8 1/4 inches. So that's all your scoring done. And the next thing I'm going to get you to do is burnish all those score lines. So get those all nicely burnished. And again on this one. Because this is construction, that's why I do like to use a bone folder for the burnishing. Okay, I would always recommend that if you're doing things constructional. So that one along there as well now. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take one of your pieces, and on this long side here, this is going to be the front of your file folder. And I want you to come in and cut, so you're not cutting that bit, so fold that piece in, and I want you to cut just to this first score line, and I want you to do that at either 3 inches or 7.5 centimetres, and you're just going to score or cut to that first line there. Okay, so you've got that going on. All right, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to twizzle this into your, in fact I'm going to chop that piece off because it's going to get in the way. So I'm going to cut that off just so you can actually see what I'm doing. So cut that out the way. So what we're going to do now is you're going to do a diagonal line in your trimmer from this point here to the top score line here. Okay, so that's your top score line. So place it in your trimmer. It might be a little bit tricky, but do your very best. You can always draw yourself a pencil line and just go in with a pair of scissors. Choice is absolutely yours. I'm just positioning that where I'm happy. And you're going to trim that piece off. Didn't catch that last bit. Not a problem, just going with my scissors. Okay, so you've got that going on now. All right, and then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut straight up the bottom here and do a diagonal cut. And you're going to go straight up the bottom here and a diagonal cut. And I'm actually going to do a second diagonal cut on this one because this is going to come in. So that's one of them. So you can see I've got the two diagonals, that's straight and that's diagonal. I haven't got to worry about diagonaling this off because this is the shorter side. You're going to mirror that on your other one. However, you're not going to mirror it so the two bigger spaces are at the front, because this big space now needs to be on the back, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've then got our thick piece on the front and a thick piece on the back. So that is one. Let me put that on a board so you can have a visual. So that's side panel one. Okay, and now we're going to do side panel 2. So this time you're going to mirror. So your thicker part is going to come up here. So this time you need to fold this bit under and you're going to cut up your 3 inches or your 7.5 centimetres on the short piece. Only again up to the score line. Okay, bring the trimmer piece down. So only up to that score line and stop. Okay, I'm going to cut this away again so you can see exactly what I'm doing, because I think it's important. Okay, and now we need to do our diagonal line from this point, which is that short piece, from this point to the next score line. So again, place it in your trimmer. Okay, if you haven't got your trimmer, as I said, pencil and ruler and a pair of scissors are absolutely fine. And you're going to do the same again. I'm going to trim that piece off. And then we're going to do some snipping again. So I'm going to go straight up this score line. This is on the thicker of the two ends. And do a mitre in. And take that away. And again on the other side. And then on this side, I'm going to go straight up and do a mitre in. Okay, so what we've got, if I lay that out, it might be hard to see in the light, but what you've got is you've got it mirrored. Okay, so you've got a thin piece, you've got a thick piece, you've got a thick piece, you've got a thin piece. Okay, so now we're going to put this together. So the way you're going to pop this together is, let's might have to fold it backwards on itself. So how you're going to put this together is you're going to put the thicker piece on the thin piece. So what we're going to do again is we're going to put glue on the thinner piece. Okay, don't worry if your score line, your bone folding is round the other way, because you've done a nice score and you've burnished it, you'll be able to fold it back the other way very, very easily. So glue on the smaller piece. and then you're going to put the bigger piece of that on the top and go in with your bone folder and give that a good burnish. Okay, and then we're going to fold this back on itself, because this will go onto here, and this should fold over here, and it fits absolutely beautifully because I've done all the measuring for you. So I'm just going to burnish that one down because I had it folding the other way. So you've got your smaller piece here again, and you're going to put your glue on. So I've hopefully helped to make this a lot easier for you because I've done all the measurements for you. Okay, this is what it's all about. Some people just go measurement blind, and I quite understand it, but these are the types of project I love. I love construction and measuring and working it out and getting it right. And yes, it does take me a few times. There are a few scraps in the bin, but it's all about the prototype and getting it bang on right for you guys. So I'm going to fold that over on itself, so that goes on that score line but not over it. And you know what I'm going to tell you to do: burnish away. And if you just fold it back that way, you can get your bone folder just in quite nicely on this one. Okay, so that's looking like our file folder. But before we go any further, we'll decorate this up. I've done some panels here. Okay, so we'll start decorating this up again. This will give a bit more stability. I've kept the panels quite simple with this one. I just love this colour of the salvage patina with the distress oxides, and a lot of you will know it's my Dawn's Inspirations colour, so that's probably why I like it so much. But I just think it looks lovely and crisp and clean next to the white. I have had, as I said, some requests to share some of the techniques I did in the memory book of this sort of stamping and inking, and I will do some how-to videos for you. I just haven't got round to it yet. I've been a bit busy, but I will do those, no problem at all. And these are great for decorating the outside as well. It brings the whole project together. And I'm going to flip that side and do a little piece for the front. So all I said as I've done is I've got that measurement and I've gone in. Okay, really simple to do. Okay, so that's going to go on the front of there as well. I could put a pull tabby. I could print out on the computer what the photos are, so you've got a reference when they're on your shelf as well. I've got my side panels, and you're probably thinking, okay Dawn, how did you cut that side panel? So basically what I've done is I would have cut a normal panel, the square one like we did on the last one, the same size, so I've got that gap all the way around, and then I've used this scrap that I cut off, taken that in, drawn a line and cut it so it all fits. And that's as simple as it is. Honestly, it's not very hard at all. If you are concerned, another thing you could do is make yourself another one of the main panels and cut the shape, and then cut it in 1/4 of an inch or a centimetre down and keep it as a template for future reference. That's another thing you can do. So there's several ways round doing it. What you have got to remember is you've got to have your pieces mirrored. So I'm just hoping now that I've inked my pieces on the right sides. So you see that I've gone up my my straight piece as well, but that fits absolutely beautifully. I'm really pleased with that, and I think this colourway against the white, I've just kept that really clean. I was going to colour it in, and I thought, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep it clean. So I'm going to flip on the other side now and do this panel. Okay, so just sticking that on. I haven't used any of my memories and moments words on here. I know they are still available, so you can still get hold of those. So I'm going to pop that onto there. That just looks so elegant, do you not think? But you could do these to fit your home decor, so you could colour them for your home decor. If you're giving them as a gift, you know, it could be 2 wedding albums you're putting together in here. If you know the colour of the bridesmaids, you could do your ink into the colour of the bridesmaids. There's just lots of ways these can be used. So now we're going to construct this in a very similar way to the slip one. It's a bit harder because we've got this shaped edge, but the first thing you're going to do is to put one of your big flaps in, because then when you look inside your box it looks lovely and neat. And then I'm going to go straight in with my 2 small side panels first. As I said in the slip cover one, I could have cut these off, but I think again it adds a little bit more sturdiness to the actual box itself. And it's just amazing what you can actually make from paper or cardstock. Okay, so we're going to pop that over there. And then because I've got a slant on this, I can get in better, so I can just give that a good burnish with my bone folder. Hope you don't see my head there. So just putting that in there, giving that a good burnish. That looks nice and neat. Flip over again, and now we're going to put the next of the panels in. And that one's going to go over there, and that one's going to go over there. And I'm going to put it back on its back side again and burnish. I like to burnish each stage as I go because I think you can apply more pressure. And obviously these are going to hold 2 of your folios, so you need to make sure they stand the test of time. So that fits in there. So now we're going on with the last big flap. So again, close to the edge, but not on. Okay, then that's going to fold over. Just make sure that bit's just in there before you bring it over, so you get a nice clean look. Then I'm going to put it straight on the bottom and burnish that. So you've got that nice clean look. So that is your file folder or file box to house your memory folios. So if I bring in the 2 that I did on the telly, so these should fit in here absolutely perfectly. So put one in and put the other one in. You'll see how nice and snug those are. These haven't got photos in yet, but can you see you've got room for once you've got your photos in. But from the front, this isn't going to get any bigger. They just fit lovely and snug. And doesn't that look perfect to give as a gift to somebody? Everything all together in one place. So that they are the Pink Frog memory folios I did, but I've also got 2 of my photo folios. The tutorial for this is on my website, Dawn's Inspirations. So I put these in here, and again, perfect fit. Can you see? Everything is I've worked all the measurements out for you. So once all those photos are in there, you've got space. But doesn't that look nice? That is going to look so good on your shelf, all together in one place. So that is my version of a file box that you can use with your memory folios from Pink Frog or your photo folios from me. The choice is yours. They will all fit in that box. You'll just get 2 in there. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, press the subscribe button now, and then you won't miss out on anything crafty that's going on in my little world. And pop over to my Facebook page, Dawn's Inspirations, and you can like my Facebook page as well. And please share with me any of your finished presentation boxes, file boxes, slip covers that you've created for your memory folios as well. I'm Dawn McPhee from Dawn's Inspirations. Thank you for watching, and see you very soon. Bye for now.